Hi everybody, welcome back to Laura A Vlogs. Now, I want to apologize ahead of time. You're going to hear two turtles roaming around in my room. They're getting their tank cleaned out today, so they're doing a lot of little ruckus roaming around. They love to hang out with me in the room. It's their little play area, so to speak. So please pardon for the little noise in the background. But I wanted to do this video. Now, I had put out a short maybe about a week ago regarding to asking the viewers about food triggers. Do anybody get food triggers with UCTD? Now, when I was diagnosed with UCTD, it was December 2018. And at the time, I remember asking the rheumatologist about any special diet that I have to go by having UCTD. And I remember the rheumatologist said to me, no, there's no food diet that you could go by, because you don't really have mixed connective tissue disease. You just have a different type of, connective tissue disease. So there's no diets. You could eat anything normal. And so I was like, okay, good to know. And then I even checked online just to double check, because my best friend is Google also. And I was trying to check to see if there's any special diet for people with UCTD. And nothing. Now here we are 4 years later after being diagnosed with UCTD. And I came to realize that certain things were triggering me. Now, I'm still trying to learn to recognize those food triggers. But I wanted to get an input from everybody out there, because it's not like I want to ask you guys and they say, okay, I got that too. I just wanted to see if maybe by chance we have that similar triggers, if it's happening to you guys as well as if it's happening to me. Now, I'm going to give two shout outs because I think they deserve it. Rhonda Rena, PhD. I'm assuming you're a specialist for the UCTD. And she mentioned about eating pork. And then I also got a comment from Sozan Sinde. Please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name. And she mentioned about meat, milk, and cheese. I don't know if that's what you're going through, but the only two food triggers that I've noticed so far, and maybe later on as I go along in recognizing how I eat more, I pay attention more to what I eat, is might change later on, and then I'll probably give you guys an update at some point in the future. But as of lately, I didn't realize that the food was triggering me some, flare-ups, like a small flare-up. It wasn't like crazy, like will last me months and weeks, and no. It's just little small flare-ups. And when I get those little flare-ups, I get kind of nervous, because then I have to think about, oh my God, what's going to happen if I go outside and this happens to me? So little did I realize, it kept happening after I ate. And I was like, I felt kind of weird, because as soon as I eat, I had to throw myself on the bed. I'm like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I have to like really struggle to stay awake, and sometimes I just have to pass out for a little while. And I was just like, oh my God, how am I gonna get through this? And I will feel the muscle weakness. I will feel lethargic. And the muscle weakness, a lot of times when I get it right away, I can't stand in long periods. It will just react to a point that I have to like lay down right away, because if I don't, I'm going to collapse. And that's what I'm afraid of, is collapsing at that moment. And so I'm like, okay, here we go. It's happening again. So one of the foods that when Dr. Reina mentioned, I was like, she hit the nail on my head. Pretty much nail on the head. And she mentioned the pork. And I'm like, now anybody who doesn't eat pork outside, the United States or in the Caribbean, you're blessed. But people like myself who grew up in the Caribbean family, Puerto Ricans, pork is the staple in our culture. Sad to say. Yeah. Pork chops, ribs, especially at this time of year, the holidays are approaching. We like to make a big pork roast for the holidays. Pasteles. I'll put a picture of a pastele, and it has pork in it. And people could say, oh, you could substitute it. It's not the same. It's like, oh. I mean, it hurt me. It hurt me bad, but she was right. She was right. I was just like, oh my God. Because I had eaten a few days ago, that week when I put the short out, I had eaten a little small pork roast that I made for myself and the boys. And I was just like, that was what was triggering it. And it really hurts my soul. I feel the generations of Puerto Ricans rolling over in their graves right now. Like, ay, Dios mío, esta muchacha. Because it's just like, can't be happening to her. But I felt it. And I was just like, now I have to really watch myself when I eat that, because I just didn't like that feeling. I did not like the feeling of me getting like really lethargic and weak. It was really scary. And I felt like my last flare-up that I had was 2019. I mean, I had a couple of flare-ups this year, but not severe like the ones in 2019. So that's when I'm just like, I don't want to go back to that point in my life. And so now I have to really curb the way I eat things now. And then another food trigger that I noticed was happening to me was every time I was eating mashed potatoes. Yeah. Who would think mashed potatoes would cause a trigger? Me. This one here. So unfortunately, yeah, that caused a food trigger for me. It wasn't the milk or cheese, because milk I have it, but I'm okay. And then cheese, I barely eat cheese these days. Not so much. But yeah, it's definitely mashed potatoes. Because every time I have mashed potatoes, wait a minute, I could take it back a little bit on the milk part. Maybe. Because I do add a little bit of milk into the mashed potatoes. So maybe. And every time I eat it, I'm just like, I'm ready to pass out. Yeah. That is something that I could tell you that it knocks me out also. And it's not like I've eaten fries. I'm not a fry person. Very rare if I eat a hamburger, I'll eat fries, but it's not like I eat fries every week. No. And I don't, make potatoes like that, like crazy. So once in a while when I have a mashed potatoes, that's my weakness. I will eat it happily. And then when I felt the trigger kick in, I was just like, no. It was hard. It was just plain hard. All I can say is just, it was terrible. So now I gotta watch out. What else is gonna cause triggers? Now it's gonna get to the point that I have to really observe what's going on with my body. Is my body changing to a mixed connective tissue disease? That's my question these days now. because it doesn't make sense. Because so far my UCTD has been, you know, under control, somewhat under control. But I don't know, you know, with all the changes that I've been through with my illness, the different illnesses, I don't know if it's making my body go a little nutty. So now next year, I'm going to have to make it my business to make an appointment with the rheumatologist again and catch up with him and see what's going on with this lady here, because it's kind of concerning and I don't want to get sicker. And unfortunately, you know, yes, eventually I'm gonna get sick, because you know what, like I said, most people who have autoimmune conditions, tomorrow's never promised, and I just trying to live, you know, a full life as much as I can at this point in my life. And so, yeah, this is where I'm at. So if any food triggers happen again, I will definitely give you guys a short video, probably do a little short and give you an update. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So if anybody who sees this video and think about your own, you know, relationship with food, do you have any food triggers? And if you would like to share your comment, you could do so here on YouTube, or you could reach out to me on Facebook, and I will gladly to hear your food triggers. Anyway, thank you for viewing my content. If you see any of my videos, please give the videos a like, that anybody who's going through what we go through with UCTD could get a chance to see and be able to get an understanding what they're going through with their own issues with this horrible disease. So thank you again for viewing my content, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye.